So what's up, everybody? This is Alex Brooks, and this is another episode of Mental Food for Thought. So I know last time we talked a lot about preparing yourself for success, right? Putting yourself in that environment to make things happen. But how do you get that push to really get it done? How do you get that drive to really make it happen? So what I want you guys to think about throughout this session is, what is your why? Because ultimately your why is going to be the push that really makes it happen for you. I mean, why are you really doing what you're doing? So I heard a quote a long time ago. It said, if you don't stand for something, you fall for anything. So ultimately your why is what's going to keep you standing, whether that's keeping you up to 3 or 4 in the morning to make that vision happen, or whether it's getting you up at 5 or 6 in the morning to really make that vision happen. Ultimately, that why is going to be what pushes you. So in fact, throughout history, every great company or every great leader is driven by a strong why. I mean, one of the greatest success stories, the Wright brothers in history, I mean, nobody really thought that they would make it happen with flying airplanes, especially when you had so many other competitors who were backed by thousands of dollars, and some people were even backed by the government. But what kind of separated them from the pack is they knew their why. And that was a simple fact that they were starving to really turn that vision of flying airplanes into a reality. They were starving to make their mark in the world. So here's what I want you guys to do. In the next week or so, I want you to start finding at least 2 days where you can sit down for at least 10 to 15 minutes, preferably early in the morning, where you can just kind of sit and think about your why. Get out a notebook, write down some reasons that can strengthen your why, because that's really going to fuel you. And then even further than that, you don't want to spend all your time working on a goal and finally realize that you went to the wrong destination, or you achieved the wrong goal that was not really what you wanted to do. I mean, I don't know how many of you guys have ever done this, but I've done it before. Just picture yourself like with a GPS. So you put the address in, right? And then maybe 5 different options come up. So you choose one and you drive all the way to this destination, only to realize you went to the wrong place. So now you got to go back in the GPS, put the address back in, and then follow the right address to get to a place that would have taken 40 minutes. Now, instead of 40 minutes, it's taken maybe an hour and 30 minutes to get to the same destination. So it's very important to spend some time and think about your why. I want to finish up talking about Martin Luther King, because Martin Luther King was one of the greatest civil rights leaders of our time. But what really made him so powerful, what made him so dynamic, was he was fueled by his why. And his why was simple, that one day he had a dream that one day the nation that we live in would be able to treat everybody equally. And that why was so powerful that it influenced over 250,000 people to show up at the Lincoln Memorial on the day he gave the I Have a Dream speech. And the crazy thing about that is he didn't have Facebook. There was no Gmail. There was no cell phones. It was just newspaper, radio, and television. That was it. And he was able to influence people, that many people, to show up on one day to hear the I Have a Dream speech. So the moral of the story is, these people, what made them so dynamic was they were really fueled by their why. Their why was what pushed them. And just kind of to recap, what I want you guys to focus on is spend some time, like I said, at least 2 times a week, where you can think about what's your why behind what you're doing, and why are you doing what you're really doing. Because once you figure that out, that's going to be the fuel, that's going to be the drive that pushes you to make those things become a reality. So again, this is Alex Brooks, and this is Mental Food for Thought, and I will talk to you guys next time.